80% of Russian exports are in oil, gas, and minerals. People say, well, the Europeans will run out of energy. Well, the Russians will run out of cash before the Europeans run out of energy. And I understand that it's uncomfortable to have an effect on business ties in this way. But this is one of the few instruments that we have. Over the long run, you simply want to change the structure of energy dependence. You want to depend more on the North American energy platform, the tremendous bounty of oil and gas that we're finding in North America. You want to have pipelines that don't go through Ukraine and Russia. For years, we've tried to get the Europeans to be interested in different pipeline routes. It's time to do that. And so some of this is simply acting. And
much later.
And we're now the leading supplier of LNG to Europe to help compensate for any gas or oil that it's losing as a result of Russia's aggression against Ukraine. We've worked to release oil from our strategic petroleum reserve to make sure as well that there was oil on the markets and to help keep prices down. We've engaged with the European Union and established months ago a task force to work directly with Europe on ways to decrease demand to help get through the winter, as well as to pursue additional supply and to find ways to speed up the transition to renewables, even as we're getting through this challenging period. So all of that work is ongoing. My own sense, and I mentioned this the other day, is, look, there's a lot of hard work to do to make sure that countries and partners get through the winter. Europe itself has taken very significant steps to both decrease demand, but also look at ways to pursue the transition to renewables at the same time. And ultimately, this is also a tremendous opportunity. It's a tremendous opportunity to once and for all remove the dependence on Russian energy.
В наших школах с начальных классов детям навязывали извращения, которые ведут к деградации и вымиранию, чтобы им вдалбливали, что кроме женщины и мужчины якобы существуют еще некие гендеры, и предлагали сделать операцию по смене пола. Разве мы все этого хотим для своей страны, для своих детей? Для нас все это неприемлемо. У нас другое, свое будущее. Повторю, диктатура западных элит направлена против всех обществ, в том числе и народов самих западных стран. Это вызов всем. Такое полное отрицание человека, ниспровержение веры и традиционных ценностей, подавление свободы приобретает черты религии наоборот, откровенного сатанизма. В Нагорной проповеди Иисус Христос, обличая лжепророков, говорит: «По плодам их узнаете их». И эти ядовитые плоды уже очевидны людям. Не только в нашей стране, во всех странах, в том числе для многих людей и
Friday, Russian President Vladimir Putin gave a major address where he painted the war in Ukraine as an existential conflict for Russia. He accused the United States and its allies of waging a hybrid war against Russia and of attacking the Nord Stream gas pipelines connecting Russia to Germany. The pipelines were ruptured last week in what's widely viewed as an act of sabotage.
Но англосаксам уже мало санкций.
Sanctions were not enough for the Anglo-Saxons. They moved into sabotage. It is hard to believe that it is a fact that they organized the blast on the Nord Stream international gas pipelines, which run along the bottom of the Baltic Sea. They began to destroy the pan-European energy infrastructure. It is clear to everyone who benefits from this. Of course, those who benefit did it.
The United States has denied any involvement in the pipeline attack, but on Friday, Secretary of State Tony Blinken acknowledged the development presents a, quote, tremendous opportunity for the United States.
Meanwhile,
while tensions were high in Europe, the Baltics, and the Middle East, the appearance of Russian and Chinese warships and submarines on the U.S. coast a few days ago alarmed the U.S. Navy. Recent reports by the U.S. Navy indicated that Russian and Chinese Navy ships were seen less than 100 miles off the U.S. coast. A group of Russian and Chinese warships has been detected in the Bering Sea, several dozen miles off an Alaskan island, the U.S. Coast Guard said in a statement, confirming Moscow and Beijing's second joint patrol in 12 months. Recently, this patrol seems to mean that Putin is intimidating the United States. War experts believe that Putin's move against the U.S. is to block aid to Ukraine. It's reported that Russian nuclear submarines have also been seen alongside Russian and Chinese warships. The sighting of 3 Russian submarines in the region brings to mind recent threats of Putin.